Welcome to Gaming on a Budget. Today we bring you City of Iron, a 2 to 4 player Eurobuilding game from Red Raven Games. Now, the Eurobuilding works a little differently in this one than normal. In this, the order in which you discard your cards will determine the order in which you draw them. So, you've got an extra element of strategy to the game in that you need to be thinking, okay, I want to play this card and this card this turn, but do I want to be drawing this one first next time, or... And it is one of those situations in this game where you won't be drawing a ton of cards under normal circumstances, so it's a very significant decision. You know, if you want to see something again, you got to plan ahead a little bit. Also, it introduces some definite variable player power to the mix, in that there are 4 distinct races: the Toad Inventors of these happy little toads here, as you can see, very adorable. The City-State of Ark, which is the people, from the looks of it. Maybe cyborgs. No, I think that's an eye patch.
Yeah, it's like steampunk.
Yeah. That could be cyber, steampunk, bot things. Anyway.
Moving on.
Yes, moving right along. And I must say, just ahead of time, I love the art styling in this game. Ryan Laukat is a fantastic artist. I mean, just look at this. It's a fantastic blend of obvious anime influence with, you know, some more American styles that is just so pretty to look at. It just, oof, I love the aesthetic of this game. It is so beautiful. Now, the basic principle is that you will be scoring points based on your possession of various resources throughout the game. Now, the resources can be acquired in various ways, but the short version of how you're going to score points is if you have the most of something, tracked by your little cube, you would score the first larger number of points, in this case 2. If you have the second most, you'll score the smaller number to the right, in this case 1 point. Now, beyond that, since you only score 3 times throughout the game, you will notice a large coin symbol in the bottom left corner of each product. Now, this is going to be used to help determine your income at the end of each round. It's a bonus you will receive based on being in first place for most of this quantity. So only the person with the higher number is going to get that coin bonus. So it's important not only to have dominance when the scoring rounds come along, but also throughout the game in order to maintain a high level of income. The game simplifies matters quite a bit by making it so that really you only have 2 commodities you'll be using for purchase. You have your monies, which you'll be using for pretty much everything, and for some of the more advanced things, you'll be using research, represented by the book tokens. Research can be a little bit harder to come by, and so will need to be spent a bit more selectively. It's acquired mainly through either cards called academies or through various of your civilian and possibly military cards. Now, I mentioned earlier that each race is fairly distinct from the others in this game. You will usually... do all the races have a special card?
No.
No, okay. The City-State of Ark appears to be the only one that doesn't come with a special card. It has other bonuses. And the race-specific cards are usually pretty significant and appropriate to that race. So, in the case of the Crisarian Scholars down there, you get a Genius card that when purchased and in your hand can be used as a free action, so not taking one of your actions for the turn, to get a research, which is invaluable. It's one of the easiest ways to acquire research, especially since it can be used as a free action. Now, you're going to have 3 actions on each of your turns, which can be used to acquire cards, most of which will provide you with various, commodities, some of which have effects like giving you a bonus based on the amount of turnips you have, like the distillery here. And then there are cards like barracks and clock tower that will give you extra draws of civilian and military cards. By default, you will draw 1 civilian card at the start of each turn. Well, the end of each turn. Well, start, end. It all kind of goes in a circle. So to get any military draws at all, or any more civilian draws, you'll have to either acquire buildings like that, or explore or build districts onto your cities. Each race has 3 tiles that double as both districts and cities, depending on whether you're exploring or building a district onto an existing city. The one side has the number of buildings that can be built in your new city, and the other side is how many buildings are added to an existing city when built as a district. Also, the symbol in the top left corner will tell you if you're gaining a civilian or military draw. The watch being civilian and the gun being military. So, any other important rules you think we should cover, or do it as it comes along?
Do it as it comes along.
Yeah, that's generally my preference too. So you can see it in action. What? Oh yes, turn order. Yep. Turn order is done by bidding. The person who went last in the previous round gets the first bid at the start of the next round. As you can see, there are high and low zeros and 1, 2, 3, 5, 7s, because in some cases you're really going to want to go last. There are things you want to do after someone has done other stuff. So for example, yellow here would get to bid first. Let's say bids high 0 to go first. Green doesn't want to really spend any money, so he bids over here. Yellow goes, green will bid first next time. Simple enough. Alright.
Buying cards.
Oh yeah, yep. We'll cover the phases and such as they come up, walk you through it there. So, without further ado and or rambling or whatever you want to call it, let's get on over to gameplay.